to me. Maybe I was wrong, even once wasn't anything. So if we had another chance, I would never let you steal my breath. Bring me back to life. Don't dig deep like you would have a clue. All I see is how I was of you. To see my heart skip beats, thinking about you. Whoa. I could say that you didn't need what you wanted me. Maybe I was wrong, even once wasn't anything. Yeah, I could say that you didn't need any part of me. Yeah, maybe it's not me, you should be the one on your knees. So if we had another chance, I would never let you steal my breath. Bring me back. If we had another chance, I would never let you steal my glance. Bring me back to life. If we had another chance, I would never let you steal my glance. Bring me back to life. Left a star glowing in your eyes when I'm not aware. You left a scar. I fall into your lies all again. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Let me be there. Let me feel you. Fall into you.
All right, everybody. What's up? This is now the One Shot Podcast. We have ourselves Dash over. How would he be pointed over here? I think
I don't. I might be
over
on the
here.
other
No,
side
so
of
left,
you.
left.
Yeah,
You're my,
yeah.
you're my
There we
left.
go.
So that's
How you guys
Dash.
doing?
We have Lucent below me and Ezra with no camera because he can't find one, all the way down in the bottom right corner.
Hey.
And you know, we're just gonna be having fun. We're gonna be talking about COD, Valorant, kind of realistically esports as a whole. Nothing too
Yes, sir.
special. And we're just gonna, bullshit around, have some fun in the meantime. Dash.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's my first time ever posting a podcast, so hopefully I can do well. I just want to say, yeah, this is gonna be fun. I'm glad to introduce Lucent and Ezra, two of UGK's newest content creators. So it's really good to get to know them. We're gonna have some questions for them, questions for everybody, and just get the first time started. Hopefully, this is a good podcast.
Lucent, introduce yourself to everyone.
Well, name's Lucent. I liked going by Lucent, but I have it's Lucent because I can't get that. I can't get that at yet. Hopefully one day I'll get it.
Be 6 years of
just-
inactivity on Twitter for that one.
Yeah, honestly.
I feel you. Yeah.
Just a content creator, streamer. I like to do content, try to make people laugh, make people have a good day, things like that. I like to try and make people's moods better, etc., etc. Just the normal type of stuff I feel like content creators like to do. Play video games, etc.
W.
Yeah.
W. Ezra?
Yeah, that's
My name's Ezra. I play a lot of Valorant. I barely stream.
No camera
I
streams.
get banned from YouTube a lot.
For what?
Yeah. For violating guidelines, even though I do everything that they say.
What? All right, no.
All right.
You got to go a little bit deeper into it.
We'll get there once we get into later conversations, but we'll figure that out. We'll have to figure that one out. But yeah, and then you also content creation, right, for UGK. So what games do you play?
Valorant. It's on Apex.
Valorant, Apex, Call of Duty, whatever a lot of people are playing. Pretty much, I've played a lot of it, all of it.
Same, yeah, I feel you. I'm more the same way. Whatever is just like popular, I guess, but pretty much any FPS, like that's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
See, I try and dabble in a little everything, but realistically, I feel like I can't touch Val, dude. I've tried it so many times, and I fell asleep mid game before because I'm sitting there
How?
like, because it's boring, bro.
It's
so
more
boring.
intense than CS:GO. Don't get me wrong.
No.
CS:GO is a great game. Like I never got to get into it because I got a PC later in my gaming lifetime. I came from
Then
console,
that's why,
PlayStation.
dude.
I understand, but Valorant is a really fun game. Like it's just I don't know, something about it. It caught my eye.
I think
What?
it's
Because
the
it's
color.
easier. It's bright. It's not orange out and
because
dusty
it's
looking.
easier. Maybe because it's easier, but I think more because it's it's newer.
See,
less
even
people that already
chat's
know
agreeing
it.
with us already.
I
CS
don't know.
superior.
I don't
man.
know. It's better. I would say CS is better as a game, yes, because it's the older game. It's obviously it's the
It's the
father. You know what I
polished
mean?
one. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but I don't know, Val. Just the things that you can do in there. I don't know. I've seen some clips from you guys, so I've seen you know what I mean. The things that you can do inside of that game, it's really fun. You know, so. The plays that you
definitely
can make, especially.
It's definitely a fun game. It's a lot more fun though when you definitely have people to play it with. When you're playing by yourself, yeah, I can understand.
No,
It
solo's
can
misery in
definitely
any
annoying.
game, honestly, I feel
Yeah.
like. But Valorant is
Oh, yeah.
definitely up there with it. I can't say
Yeah.
CS is much better. It's rough. It's rough.
I mean, hey,
CS
COD is in
and Val
shambles
have a
right now too.
difference.
So
Yeah. I'd say they all. Honestly, but Apex is on the rise right now from what I heard, correct?
Oh yeah.
It's doing pretty well. It's definitely on the rise. It's definitely they're starting to get a more of a pro scene. I've seen I think they even did a live stream on Twitch not that long ago with a lot of Apex pros, things like that. So it definitely is on the rise. They just need to change a few things, balance out a little more stuff, and the game can definitely go skyrocket.
Is the prize money decent in there?
I don't know what the prize money is. I didn't get to watch it, but I know they're doing prize money and they're doing pretty well. I saw teams like XSET. XSET's a pretty popular team.
Yeah.
There's a few other players that I've seen on there, and teams on there. But hopefully it does rise and does do really well because I enjoyed the game when I did play it. I still somewhat play it here and there. Probably not as much, but I do play it.
Wait, it's the AOGS, right? That's the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
It's very difficult to watch if you don't play Apex.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can see that. You just feel
It's very
lost and
confusing
not
even
really
if you
sure
do.
what's. Yeah, because I feel like any type like that where it's not A team versus B team, it's not just and you have a free for all kind of like that. For one, it's a lot harder to just generally spectate, in CS because I cast and stuff. It's easy for me to work cameras. I have numbers 1 through 0 are dedicated to players. It's simple. But in
Mhm.
Apex, I can't even begin to imagine how to do the camera work on that because that's gotta be rough.
I
That's
It's
the-
not
Um,
it's not
Have you guys
just
seen
10
the solo?
people.
Have you guys seen like the solo match for Warzone and shit like that? Like the solo match for Warzone was like, I don't even know how they did the camera work for that, because they had each stream going up for every single solo that there was, and I think there was 150 solos.
So
Yeah,
there's
that was
150
crazy.
separate streams.
Yeah,
That sounds
yeah.
terrible.
They
to be
put
honest
up
with
at
you.
one point. I remember they put up like the screen with all the cameras up, and it was completely filled out. And like I don't know how they were managing that, but no, I'm not. No shot.
That doesn't sound remote. Like, cause that's stupid. Cause then you have to scroll through 150 people if you want to watch one person. But if you want to watch the whole thing all together, I don't know. Man.
Yeah.
Sounds
Well, you got to understand. There's a big difference. Is that they have money, so they
True.
can make the production. They can make the production team to.
But they
definitely,
can't
like,
afford anti-cheat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what? Let's go straight into that then. Let's talk about this broken anti-cheat already.
Okay, look, Ricochet, I have hope. Okay, I have hope that it comes out and that it actually works. Vanguard, I have hope that it comes out and it's a good game. We're just gonna pray. I'm very like I love Call of Duty. I play Call of Duty all the time. I'm a content creator streamer for New Threat for Call of Duty mainly. But any FPS really, like I said. But I want it to be a good game. I really do. And I feel like I remember when I played the beta, it felt really good. It felt like it was gonna be a good game. But I don't know. I just don't want them to go wrong. You know what I mean? I can't. I don't need another year.
The only thing I don't like about the beta is probably the snipers and like the grenade mechanics.
What about it? What about the sniper and the
scopes?
It was the scope of
I'd say
it,
scopes
the look
and,
of it,
like,
or what?
Just the way it felt. It didn't, I mean, like hitting a shot felt clean, but like other than scoping it just
What,
felt,
like the motion feels slow?
yeah,
Sluggish?
Yeah, it is. It
very
is slow.
sluggish.
I
They had,
think
like,
that
because
the-
in MW2 they had like sleight of
Yeah.
hand, which made scoping faster. They have something
I
like
hope
that
they
in that
really
one.
do that. on release.
Hopefully, yeah. I think that once we get the gun really leveled up, like I think I use the car mostly, the car 98 inside of there, and I think that once it gets leveled up, it's gonna be a pretty good gun. I feel like it's gonna feel similar to what like it felt like in Modern Warfare 2019 specifically.
No, it's definitely gonna be like that, especially since it's already been shown. They showed it in the beta that you can have up to 10 attachments on a weapon, one single weapon.
The
Yeah.
10 attachments is gonna be wild when it comes to Warzone, bro.
I
J-God
can't
is gonna
even-
have a fun time.
What the
You're-
hell? All right, so you have muzzle, scope, mag, stock, maybe a foregrip, but there's
They
still
had,
5
like-
they're missing. What else am I fucking? What's going on here?
They had like
You have the
extra-
barrels.
They had like extra ammunition attachments and stuff like that. Like it was different stuff, and then they had like perks for when you had like more range when you melee and stuff like
this
that.
is
Like
this is what COD always does, dude.
Yeah,
They make
I
it
know.
overcomplicated for no reason. Like, bro, you don't need to do all this. 10 attachments? Like, I'd say
We'll
you're good
see.
at 3. 10, like why?
I
It's
mean,
baffling.
it can either make the game better or it can make the game worse. I'm really hoping for better, but we'll see. We'll see.
I
I
just
mean,
hope
I
they
think
got a good
it's-
team on it. They got competition in Battlefield.
Lucent, did you play the beta?
I did play the beta. I had actually some fun playing it. There's definitely the gunplay still needs to be tweaked out. Like some of the guns just felt like they were too overpowered, or they just shot way too fast, or just some of the guns you had like the PPSH, the MP40, things like that. And it's just some of them just felt way too overpowered, and then some of them
Oh, yeah.
just felt way too weak. So they're gonna be
There's
balancing
no
that.
gray
so.
area guns, pretty much. It's either the meta or nothing else, essentially.
Yeah,
Classic Call of Duty.
Yeah,
but-
really.
I definitely do think they'll balance it out pretty easily, because the guns were pretty good, and I played competitively, and I did a lot of sniping as well, because
Mhm.
that's what I used to do a lot in the back in the day. I play mainly competitively now, so
Now, when
I'm
you say
pretty
back in the day, how far back were you going? Because like I'm
Like,
a boomer, so.
BO2 and BO2 and
Same.
older. I used to play a lot of
Nah,
that,
see, that's
and I
not
sniped
way
on
back,
that.
dude. I'm talking
He's-
COD 4, dude.
This
I'm
guy,
talking
Well,
this
I
guy.
played that too. I've played
it,
COD
but
4.
didn't competitively. Nah, yeah, I was just a sniper back then. All from COD 4 on to like BO2, I was just sniping nonstop, and then I had to stop kind of playing for a little bit. But like that's all. I was sniping nonstop, and when I came back, like sniping was my baby. I had to pick it back up.
See, like okay, like back like MW2 was like my like when I loved playing COD. Like like 6-hour days and that shit. And it was always like, all right, right before we go into like play pugs and shit, it was we go on Rust. It was quick scope, no scopes, and throwing knives only. Nothing else. And we did that for a good half hour, and then we would go play and shit. Yeah,
Well,
that was fun back then, man. I loved
my
COD
first-
back then.
My first COD was COD 3, but I didn't snipe then. It was more like probably Modern Warfare.
Oh, when you say COD 3,
2
you mean
and 3.
MW3?
No. COD 3, like actual Call of Duty 3, because they had a Call of Duty 3. That was my first COD I actually ever played. And then I played Modern Warfare 2. Played Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, all those games. That's when I really got into sniping, because that's when FaZe Clan and all that started becoming a thing. Then really, that's when it started popping
MW2
off.
was when they started really blowing up that Optic and what was the other one? Start with an O. Man.
Obey?
Yes,
Oh,
Obey.
Obey.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Obey.
Yeah. They had the best
Bro, I miss
like
Obey.
montages ever, dude. I love
Obey
yeah,
did
that
have
stuff.
some fire montages, 100%. A lot of the good trick shotters, I like went from Obey, Dare, like all to FaZe.
Yeah, Dare was one too.
TSM. Yeah, oh my god.
Yeah.
there was
No,
so
they
many.
changed so much. Like Obey, their Twitter because that's what they were known for, was all their sniping montages. Their Twitter used to be Obey Sniping. Now they changed it to just Obey Gaming.
Obey.
Oh yeah.
So
I
do they
mean,
still have the COD team or?
I think they
caught up
do.
them.
I think they do. Like
Obey
for trick
and
shots and
COD
stuff.
for trick shotting, they're not inside of competitive anymore. It's all franchise.
I mean, is there a competitive scene for trick shotting anymore, or is it just like a YouTube kind of thing?
nah,
Pretty
yeah,
much
it's
just
It's
YouTube.
more of a YouTube thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's upsetting because honestly, like if even if I didn't like COD, like I can always sit there and just watch people do that for days. It doesn't even matter. Like it. But now if I look at like the COD scene, it just feels. I don't know. Everything feels very run and gunny, and that's all it's been for a while now. Was the beta very run and gun too? I'm assuming.
Yes.
I'd say so.
Yeah, I mean that's what
Yeah.
I think that's like more of what the COD audience is like big on though. Just running gun instead of like playing, because if you actually pay attention to competitive though, like I know obviously Lucent, I don't know if you know much about like competitive Ezra, but like it's still really interesting to watch. Like it's still they're playing tactically because it is competitive, but they're very, very talented players, so it does look like running gun. Like if you watch it, it's a very fun thing to watch, and I think a lot of people really don't like know that and like really take the time to. I'm hoping that like once we get into Vanguard and the new season, we'll really get more people watching competitive, because I think it's a really fun thing to watch, and hopefully that really pops off. But
Is COD specifically on YouTube nowadays, or does it have a Twitch
Yes.
going
yeah, they're
It's
just
YouTube?
I think, what you guys think, if they move to Twitch, do you think it'll be better or not?
No, I don't think it would be
No.
good for them, because Val
don't
and
think
CS
so?
pretty much dominate the FPS scene on Twitch, I'd say. And right now,
Now-
COD has theirs, I'd say, in YouTube area.
Definitely now, probably not so much. They actually, COD was way bigger on Twitch at some point than CS:GO and a lot of these other games, but then they ended up signing a deal with YouTube. That's why they moved over to YouTube. It's definitely growing on YouTube, and I'm excited for the COD scene, the COD competitive scene. If they went back to Twitch, I would say they wouldn't do well now, but if they would have went back a few years ago, it probably would have done pretty well. But it's too late now if they were to go back. But it's gonna start growing again, I feel like.
And besides, I don't think any sort of big company should really be stepping foot into Twitch new nowadays, especially since it's kind of splitting down the middle. Like, if you got your scene over on YouTube, keep it, because it's probably only going to get bigger.
Yeah.
Twitch has kind of become like a stagnant kind of area, unless you're like a big YouTuber or Twitch already. Then like any new company coming into this, just you don't see the growth YouTube there's actual potential for, I'd say. So they're better off where they are, I'd say, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
Did you guys
definitely.
Did you guys watch the competitive season this year on Call of Duty or on Cold War?
I did.
You
I
did?
did not.
No.
You didn't. What did you think about it as Lucent?
Honestly, probably one of the better seasons. It's definitely getting a lot better. Modern Warfare season was okay. The Cold War season, it definitely had its ups and downs, but it was definitely a lot of fun. Especially the way it ended, since pretty much the first half of the season was online. When it went back to LAN, that's when I think I enjoyed it
That
way
was-
more. It was so much more fun and so much more enjoyable to watch.
How is
Yeah.
the AM scene in COD? Because I'm assuming it's never been good as far as I can remember. Like, it hasn't
It's-
been a huge thing.
Wild right now. I mean, like it's really big now because since it's the challengers, there's like open brackets, so a lot of teams can just like make a team and come in and play, and so that's why it takes like a really long time for all of the games to play out, and that's
Yeah.
why I forgot that there's this one streamer who ended up getting really big on streaming challengers matches and just like becoming a caster for it, and he went from like having no one watching him to now being one of like the biggest
I
challenger
think I know who you're
casters there is.
talking about.
I
just
forgot
don't
what
remember his
is.
name. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I've seen him
he's
on
just
Twitter.
like yeah, exactly. And so he's it takes a really long time for the bracket to run through, but it is still a smaller scene. Like a lot of people don't know about it, but it's really big as in terms of teams playing. Like there's constantly teams all over the world playing, from like Brazil. There's like a lot of I forgot this. There's this Brazilian team. I forgot what their name was, but there are a lot of players from their team are coming into the league this season. I think his name is Pred. One of that, like his name is Pred.
Pred.
He's coming into to the season this year, and he's a really good player. And there's a lot of like big, just random teams coming out of the woodworks, just coming to play. So it looks like it's getting bigger, but I just don't know if there's going to be eyes on it anytime soon.
And I mean, the chat's saying right now, Elite's saying, that's due to the AMs needing someone to showcase them. Call of Duty isn't streaming any challenger matches.
Exactly,
So I guess when you say
yeah.
challenger, you mean like the not pro scene essentially? Is that what it falls into? That's
That's
challenger?
what, yeah, the AM is challengers now, yeah.
Okay.
Someone I just saw it in chat. Elite said the same thing. When AMs is the same thing as challengers, is just different. When CDL was a thing before franchising, that's when it was best. It was best in the CWL, and that's mainly
100%.
because when they did amateurs and pros, they would mix the streams together. They wouldn't separate them. Now they have them
Yep.
separated. So like when Twitch on Call of Duty, they had like 3 different streams. There was like Bravo, it was Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie, I'm pretty sure. And you would see pros play. You would see pro matches on all 3 of those streams, but you would also see amateur matches on those scenes as well. And that's because
Yep.
you would have an open bracket, and the open bracket would allow other teams, random teams, just brand new teams, get into the pro scene easily. It's separated because of franchising. If it was like that now, AM scene would be way better and would be getting way
Yeah.
more traction if it was
Yeah.
like
It
that
would.
now.
It definitely would be, because like
Like-
a lot of these back then, a lot of these teams would just come in and show up not even knowing who they were and come in and run through these pro teams, and it could still possibly do the same way like now, because Call of Duty is Call of Duty. Anything can happen, and it's just good Call of Duty to see it. And I don't know why they haven't just thought about putting that action back in. It's because of the franchising and all of the money that needs to be done for it, but I don't know. I think they need to figure out some way to get that back in there, because it just like you said, it would bring more eyes to the challengers, and I think it'll bring more eyes in general to the scene in general, because it'll mix the two. You know what I mean? There would be more people, more time, more games played. So
Now, like, majority of my experience lies obviously within CS. So like in CS, you have Face It League, which you can kind of work your way through, but mainly it's ESEA, which you see obviously that's what UGK plays right now, is the ESA League. And does COD have anything like that though? Like a bracket where you have open, which is like any general team can join, and then there's I think it's IM above that, so you have to go through open, win open to get bumped up ladder to ladder to ladder, and there's 4 ladders then to the pro scene. Does COD have anything even remotely close to like that?
the closest would be challengers, but they don't get into the pro scene at all. It's
Unless
the
you get
highest-
picked up from one of the pro teams.
Because
Exactly,
everything's
yeah.
franchised? Is that why?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's where like the concept of franchising on paper is good for like the companies, but like realistically, it's so limiting, and it's kind of a little upsetting when you have like you said, like it's COD, anything can happen, but actually you're most likely going to only be seeing the same teams over and over again. But in like CS, every like 2-3 years, you have this weird shift in the system where you see like this random team, sometimes 3 teams at once. They'll just work their way all the way up and just start running through the pro teams after that, and then the pro teams actually get bumped down to like the semi-pro level. Prime example is all right. Right now, UGK is in the IM division. I forget. I always mix up the divisions. But because there's a pro team called MIBR, which is made in Brazil, they're an actual like top 10 team in the world. They got bumped so far down. Now UGK has the potential to have to play against them. for that very reason of the shifts. Advanced, by the way. Thank you. So, and I'm guessing that never happens in COD because of franchising, correct?
Yeah, I mean the that's when back in the CWL, like that would be the only way when they would play against each other is if the lower team went through the bracket, ran through a bunch of these teams, and ended up facing against one of these big pros or pro teams. But now due to franchising, it's all the pro teams just playing against each other. There's no
Really
way.
sucks.
So would you say it's getting stagnant?
I think that they just need to add more teams. Like I don't know, it has to be because of the money, because these businesses aren't able to come in and don't really want to come in and put up that $25 million.
That's true. That's a determining factor.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it really just needs to be that the game gets more eyes on it, so that companies are wanting to do it. And I don't really know. I think that they're trying to go to 16 people there are 16 teams this league or this season, and I really hope that does work. I just don't know, because there's Paris that might be dropping out, and there's talks of the Washington.
I'm surprised that man still plays, dude. Like, he's been around for a long time.
I don't even know. I was talking about Paris Legion. There's a team called Paris Legion who they haven't won anything pretty much in a while, and so they might be dropping out of the.
That's $25 million down the drain.
Yeah, it's $25 million drain, and I don't really know if that's going to result in another team coming in just taking the spot, and then we're still at 12 teams. If there's a supposed Washington team that might be coming in, I don't know if that's going to just be the 12th team. I'm not really sure what they plan on doing, but I really think that they need to work on getting more teams inside the league, because it'll just I guess it'll be a better game.
That's definitely, I think that'll make it way better to watch and enjoy if we had more teams. But the entire issue with AMs and challengers, like I said, someone said it, is the cash prizes. In the pro scene, the grand prize for first place in the playoffs was like what, 2.5 million or something like that. The grand prize in challengers was only 500,000. It's a big difference, and that's why. And the reason CWL did so well when it came to the amateurs and the pro scene is because any team, it could have been an amateur team. If they fought their way through the entire bracket, they could go all the way to playoffs. They could win playoffs and get the 2.5 million, and that's how the CWL was. But now, because of they did the expansion, not expansion, franchising. Since they did the franchising, only the pro teams, the actual league teams, can only get that prize money, and the amateur teams can't go for that. It's such a big gap that it makes people not want to watch it as much, because you have teams that are fighting for way more money on the pro scene. Like, that's just way more exciting. You have $2.5 million you can win compared to $500,000. Like 2.5 mil. That's a big difference when you listen to it.
Yeah, it is.
And then the whole thing about Paris Legion, they're actually gonna stay. It's just a few of the other teams that are mixing around. Like, supposedly Optic and Envy are supposed to be merging together. That's a possibility. Yeah. I do think if Paris doesn't do well this year, that they will drop out next year, but I'm pretty sure they are staying this year. But we'll see what happens. I don't really like Paris. It's a good team to have in the CWL because you have more EU teams, but hopefully they just screw up by waiting way too last minute to pick up players, so they screw themselves.
I don't know who's on their management, like their camp for picking up players, but they just have not been doing well at all.
What team
the past few seasons? Paris Legion.
Who specifically owns that?
I don't know who owns that team, because some teams are owned by other esports teams, like Florida Mutineers. Yeah. They're owned by Misfits Gaming.
Yeah, that's what I mean, because I know they have to take the name of the team, not their own actual brand name themselves.
There are a few teams in the CDL that aren't owned by other teams. I'm pretty sure it was like just a random management team that probably had the money and they spot a spot. So I'm thinking Paris might be owned by like Activision or something. I'm not sure. I might be wrong, but I don't think they're owned by another organization. I know there's a few teams in the CDL that are, but I don't think Paris is one of them. There's a few teams that aren't. So I'm not too sure. I might be a little wrong.
Okay.
That Optic Envy merger, interesting though. I really want to say, like, because obviously they're trying to put the God Squad together to beat FaZe. It would be what Scump, Dashy, Illy, and Shotzi, right? That would be the team that they put together, and that's the only team that I really see even like beating FaZe when it comes to like domination or any type of game the next season, any type of game mode. Like FaZe is just too dominant. They really just know the entire game. They're too good. Simp and Abizi as a duo is just way too dominant. I don't really see anybody else really coming in doing what they can do, especially since they've been together for so long. They just have, I don't know, the experience together as a team, and then also the skill individually to just continue to dominate.
Yeah. For Ez. All right, this is a question for Ez. Thoughts on having Liquid as a duo partner? Who's the better
that?
power duo?
Who's Liquid?
Yes, that answers everything we need to do right there.
Liquid's gonna come at you, Ezra. Now
He's joining the call as we speak. I mean, you guys, are you guys doing Val, or are you talking about in COD? You guys do?
Valorant.
I mean, like, who do you guys main normally in Val?
I'm a Reyna main. Wait, are you talking about Agent? Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a Reyna and Jet main, mostly because the
Jet
abilities
mains,
are.
get out of here, bro.
Hey, it's for the op. It's for the op.
Oh, yeah, okay.
The plays that you can make with Jet, I remember when I first hopped into the game, I main Phoenix whenever I hop on, but I think I tried Jet for the first time and I like instantly got like a 3-piece. I was like, okay,
The dash.
Yeah, the dash, exactly.
That's why. That's all it tells me on Jet. It's just the dash, nothing else.
You can just get out of situations way too easily with that. It's very fun.
When I ever did play, I was a Brimstone guy. I just because like in COD.
No wonder why it was boring.
Yeah.
True. You have to just rush,
you gotta
just push,
explore.
and you just get fun. It's all the fun in that.
No, I mean it's not. Trust me, I have a problem out aiming any of the people that play Val because they're washed half the time anyway. But like in CS, I'm a support guy. I'm the guy who knows the smokes. I'm the guy who knows the mollies, the nade lineups, the flashes. So like that was like my instant go-to. Was like, hey, this guy throws smokes as his ability. Like kind of works hand in hand. I feel like. So I mean like, but outside that, I would usually play. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank because I haven't touched a game in months. Shoots a rocket. That's all I gotta say.
Raise.
There you go.
Raise, yeah.
Yeah. I loved Raze just because she's a meme. Like realistically.
I couldn't do it. The satchels, like, they fuck me up. I remember the first time I tried to use a satchel, it literally killed me, and I wanted to leave the game. I couldn't.
What? How?
That's the hardest thing about it.
Because I think like you have to double tap it or something. Like I'm not really sure, but I threw it
so you
down
can bounce
not
yourself up.
expecting. I threw it down not expecting the double tap to be a thing, and just tapped it once and just stood there staring at the person like right in front of me. So I don't really know. I just died, and I just wanted to leave the game. I was over it.
I was embarrassed. It was done.
Yeah, like, it was just chalked at that point, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, but like, how do you see the current state of Val right now? I mean, like, do you watch any of the like competitive Val scene, or even like the lower at all, or you just play?
Oh, I watch a shit ton of that.
Is that
I
good or
watch
bad?
every event.
Every event. Okay.
Who's my favorite team? I usually like to go for the underdogs, but like top dogs teams, probably Sentinels, obviously.
Okay.
Picking that community, but it's because they just run through everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, nice. I mean, I guess that's. It's not why I'm a fan of FaZe, but like that's why everybody thinks that anyone's a fan of FaZe. Like it's just because they run through them. So it's like, you know, another thing. Well, who's your favorite player?
Tens.
Tens. Okay. Nice. Yeah.
Just because he's the one that
kid
got
is
me into
insane.
Valorant.
Yeah. How long has he been? He went from CS:GO, right?
Yeah. Wash CS:GO player to Valorant.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing. Like he is good, but like Tens had like this weird. But this is the thing about Val compared to CS is CS is very unforgiving, very unforgiving, from a financial standpoint too as well. Like you make good money at the top tiers. but you don't make good money in the lower tiers. It's kind of like a lose-lose in lower tiers, so you gotta like showcase. But that's what Valve does great. I will wholeheartedly give them that. The lower scene, they put up the tournaments, they do good, as well as like the female scene too, as well. Like they do good stuff in there. And I will say, because one of my friends plays on Shopify, so I know she makes a living, so that's good for her. And I'd say most female CS players, they struggle. They really do, because the prize pool is just not there. But Valve is very generous with the money, whether it's out of their own pocket or the scene's actually doing good in itself. Like it's good. As much as I despise Valve as a game in itself, the scene's comfortable and it's doing good, I'd say.
I will say long-term Valorant is kind of scary because like CS lasts because how basic it is. I'm not gonna lie, like it's easy to watch, but like the more they're adding to Valorant, it could like
kind of
mess
more
up
COD.
abilities and just like break everyone away to it, like away from it.
I can see that happening. We saw that with Call of Duty when they brought in jetpacks, trying to finally switch it up. It literally ruined the game.
Broken.
And the specialists and Black Ops 3.
It literally ruined the lifespan of the game for like 4 years. Like, so we can see that happening possibly with Valorant, but at the same time, with it being a game that has just powers in general, like from off the bat, maybe it's something just be like they add it in, it ruins it, next update they just take it out. You know what I mean? It's not that hard.
I'm
to see
sorry,
happening,
is someone in chat really saying jetpacks are superior? You can ban them right now. Okay, nobody needs that.
AW, I don't care what anyone says. AW was a lit game when you sniped on it. Most satisfying thing I have ever I miss it. I genuinely do. AW was
definitely one of the better ones.
AW was good.
But I won't say Jetpack Call of Duty's over. I mean, it's hard because from a competitive standpoint, viewing wise, they were still really fun to watch. Like BO4, BO4 was the last CWO competition we had, and I went to the champs over at UCLA, and like it was really fun to watch it then. And so but I don't know if I'll say it's better. It's just
you just feel like it.
He just doesn't know.
It's not better. It's just it's not that bad. I'll say that.
It's not terrible, but it's watchable. That's what I'm getting out of this.
He said it was the best from comp in the chat. I agree. It was probably the best for competitive wise, like viewing standpoint. It was really fun to just watch the things that could happen. But playing, I'm pretty sure you can ask a lot of those like pros who played. They fucking hated it. They actually hated it. They would. I remember one of the abilities was you had to like you could pop it and you would just dash back to like 5 seconds. Or it was like a rewind or something like that.
Yeah.
Everyone hated that ability. Everyone hated that. Just pop in, someone gravity spikes you off the hill. Hated that. Like all of the pros actually hated that. But like from a viewing standpoint, really fun. So I don't know.
I would say the best one was probably Black Ops 3. I'm pretty sure Black Ops 3 was one of the jetpack games that was with really good movement jetpack, different from AW and I think it was it 4v4? I don't remember if that one was 4v4 or not.
I believe it.
I feel like it was.
I believe it was, yeah.
So I think that was one of the best ones for comp. Black Ops 4 wasn't bad, but because they moved it up to 5v5, that's when a lot of people didn't enjoy it because it was just way too much going on. I personally enjoyed 5v5, especially for the Modern Warfare season. I enjoyed it. A lot of people didn't enjoy it because there's just too much going on, and I can understand that. I get that. Sometimes you got like 3 different teams fighting.
Player is pretty low, so they get confused when anything more than 4. So I get it.
Oh man, I mean, I won't disagree. There's a lot of bots in the game, but I mean, you know, it is.
But
what
like,
it is.
outside of like COD, Val, CS, like, what do you generally think has the possibility to be the new potential breakout FPS? Like any sort of ability, not necessarily long term, but just like there's a spotlight for a decent amount of time on it.
I think
you could
that's a
even
really
say
good
Apex,
question.
because Apex really isn't up there in the FPS genre. It's there, but I feel like it hasn't hit that potential.
I think they
yet.
got a few seasons ago, and then they'll probably be up there.
Halo. Actually,
I
I forgot
think they
about
got
Halo.
decent
Halo,
thing.
yeah.
Oh,
Can
yeah,
we say?
comes out
Can we call
Sunday.
it a? Is it a comeback though, or like can we say that like it's? I don't.
For what,
I would say it's a
Apex?
comeback.
Apex
Apex
would
talking
definitely be a
about for Halo.
comeback. Yeah, and honestly, I agree with chat. Halo. I really,
hyped.
really want to see Halo back in because I loved watching old school Halo.
Halo,
Amazing.
It was
honestly,
fun.
Halo is probably one of the only games that would do the best competitive wise, just because it's so simple and it's the probably one of the most well balanced games in any game. Call of
Yeah.
Duty it can get unbalanced. Apex, you have special characters that get unbalanced. Same thing for Valorant and CS:GO, things like that. There's just some things that aren't balanced correctly. Halo, most people spawn in with the same weapons, and then you have to find weapons around the map, meaning anybody can find those weapons, and that's what makes it balanced. Is you don't spawn in with those loadouts unless they change it and you can have loadouts, just like in Halo
unlike
4.
Reach.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Halo I think
everybody hated
has
that one.
Halo I think has the best opportunity to do well and explode in the competitive scene, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean,
What do we?
their
What do we think
scene
about?
has been thriving for. Even when there wasn't a new Halo, there was still that underground kind of Halo scene where like they still did stuff. It just
True.
wasn't notable. So it
Yeah.
kind of sustained itself for a little while. Now everyone's like, we have nothing to play, and Halo's like, hey, we got a new game coming. Remember us? And we're like, oh shit, what's up, Halo?
True.
Haven't seen
true.
you in like 10 years. Thanks.
I mean, what do we
Yeah.
think about its possible remake, Splitgate?
I like Splitgate.
I
Do
like
I
it.
see
It's not bad.
Do I see it being a huge FPS? No. But do I see it being a smaller potential replacement? Yeah, potentially.
I've played it. I enjoy it. The one thing is it Splitgate just has too big of a skill gap for it to get too well. Like if you get to once you learn the portals really well, and not everyone can, like you have to map that stuff out in your head, which is crazy because I've seen people play and they know portals so well, and it's just gonna get when you're portaling around the entire map so quickly. Because I've seen people portal like 5 times in the span of 2 seconds.
Dude,
It's just gonna get too fast.
I just started touching triple portaling, and I'm like, all right, brains burn out. Can't do much more past
Yeah.
this.
So I
I
think
hate
it's
the
just-
portal shooters, bro. Like I can't
Yeah.
stand the ones who just shoot
Yeah.
through the portals and just sit in one spot. Like it's like, what? Why? What's
By the way,
point?
I don't know how they can do that. That shit hurts my head.
It's,
So just looking into it, it's like brain melting.
dude, facts.
I mean, that's the thing. Like you said, there's that skill gap, but you gotta also understand, like, Halo pros were like going over, like, hey, Splitgate looks cool, and that's why like there's that huge, like I said, underground Halo scene that we're like, oh, Splitgate's looks fun, and they all won over for a little while, and those are the ones you saw just destroying, because Splitgate was
Probably.
around for 3 years prior to it being noticed finally. Like I played it when it was
noticed that.
originally like beta, like 2 years ago.
It had a different name.
Did it?
It was like Portal Wars or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Portal Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it
'Cause-
was fun, but
If you
Yeah.
if you go into OBS and you game capture instead of like screen capture,
says Portal
it'll
Wars.
still
Yeah.
say Portal Wars 4s for some reason. So
Mhm.
yeah.
I don't
mean,
know.
Coding thing.
It, yeah, probably, but I think it could do well. I don't know if it's gonna skyrocket any other games out here like Halo or
Mhm.
Call of Duty, anything like that. I think
Yeah.
it'll do well, especially now that they finally got funding. I think they ended up getting like
Finally.
a
yeah.
lot of money. They
What?
ended up
They
getting
had a
like
few mil.
good amount. Yeah. So I think they might be able to tweak a few things to where it can make it a little bit more balanced, but I feel like that game's just going to be a little too unbalanced that it's not going to get too much traction. It'll definitely gain a little bit of traction, but not as much as the other games because it's just it's too
It always
there's gonna
had
be a
that
big
niche
gap.
genre of players that liked it, but
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
agree.
Okay.
It's sad because like I like to see the like the underground and underdog kind of people that because they all came from the original Halo creation people. They all were
Mhm.
like, all right, they broke off from 404 Industries or something like that, and they made their own company. And that's why they're like it's like Halo, but it's our baby kind of thing. And
Mhm.
I didn't
it
know
was
that.
nice to see. Yeah, and that's why like people are like, oh, this feels like Halo. It's like, well, they made Halo originally way back, like
Yeah.
Halo 1 and 2, and I think maybe 3. And hey, there you go. Even Elena's here now. But like, I mean, any other games outside of Splitgate, even or Halo? Anything else you guys have been like hoping takes off?
From what I've been seeing, no, not really. I feel like it's gonna be between Halo, Call of Duty, and probably like Valorant. Those are gonna be like the top, and Apex, probably occasionally here and there. Those are gonna be
We'll
like
see
the
if
top
Battlefield
games.
does well.
Yeah, well, Battlefield really
Battlefield
hasn't
doesn't
had
have a
it.
competitive
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. There is no game like Battlefield where I can get the enjoyment of doing dumb stuff all day
And
in a
just
game.
bumming people over
Like
tanks.
Battlefields, dude. It's like literally just it's there's nothing like Battlefields.
You see
But
the
this one
dumbest shit.
feels different. That's what?
You see the dumbest crap in Battlefield, and it's just the best.
It's
It's like the
nothing
most stupid stuff.
like
it's
a
just
tank running
funny.
over landmine and getting thrown up into the air and
Yes.
slamming into a jet, and you're like, how the fuck did this happen? And you're like, whatever, on to the next thing.
that's one thing I can give Battlefield though. Battlefield is one of probably the most hilarious games with the funniest glitches and like errors and junk, because I've seen a lot of like funny moments from Halos, and it kills me. Like during the beta for the new not Halo, oh my gosh, Battlefield.
Battlefield?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. During the beta for Battlefield, there was they added that grapple, and they had a map where a rocket would go into space, and you could grapple onto the rocket
Oh,
and
yeah.
fly with the rocket into space, and like that type of stuff is so funny.
Yeah.
Like Battlefield probably has one of
No.
it's one of the funniest games just for its glitches and like problems. It's so funny.
Speaking of that,
ahead.
Battlefield 2042. How do you guys like the movement? I'm a sucker for movement, so I love it.
I
I
haven't
didn't
played
play
it.
it.
Yeah,
I
me
didn't
either. I
See,
wanted
I-
to try to.
I don't
Yeah.
like playing betas and those kind of games. I do and I don't. It all depends. Like right now I have too many games. Like I have New World, I have a bunch of other games like I like playing right now. And I was like, can I squeeze Battlefield in? Probably not. So we'll just wait and see how that goes. Cause there is there's the what's it called? It's a free version of Battlefield's kind of, and it's like a predecessor almost kind of, and I'm forgetting what something war, New War or something like that, and it's free. And they're saying it's like a better version and less glitchy and more basic. There's still tanks, there's still everything, but like you know how Battlefield had a lot of its code leaks, so there's a lot of hacks in there right now because it
Oh,
transferred
yeah.
from the old Battlefield, sadly. But
Mhm.
you know, without Battlefield really having a competitive team, because how can you make Battlefield competitive, like realistic? You can't. It's a down to the very core, basic, just casual game. Some people
Yeah.
get super sweaty because, like, realistically, I am gonna sit on top of this rock for 45 minutes and see how far I can shoot somebody. Yes, I just headshot somebody 2 miles away. Did it take me 45 minutes? Yeah. What do I care? I was eating anyway. It's Battlefield. You know, like, and that's why when people
Oh,
bitch
man.
about those kind of games, I'm like, dude, it's not that serious. If someone's hacking,
Mhm.
don't get me wrong, it ruins everything. But I mean, or in the old Battlefields, I would buy a server and I'd host servers, and it was fun. It was always fun, no matter what. And
Mhm.
especially helicopters through and through. I will always be flying. You won't see me on the ground too much.
I stay away from helis. I didn't play Battlefield either. I wanted to hop on, but kind of in the same way, I didn't want the beta to ruin it for me. Like I didn't want it to be, like I didn't want the beta to be bad and me hate the game already before it even comes out.
Yeah.
Like there's no shot that I'm gonna let that happen. I'd rather spend my money, I guess. And now that I'm thinking about it, I guess I'd rather spend my money on it and then hate it. So I don't know. We'll see. But I was stuck on Warzone. Like I guess, like I said, I'm mainly Call of Duty. I was just playing Warzone the entire time, and then every time I realized the Battlefield, like the game was out for the beta, I just didn't even try and touch it. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully the game is fun though, and hopefully I do enjoy it and don't waste my money. But it looks fun. It
I'm
definitely does
wholeheartedly
look
gonna
fun.
waste my money, and I already know it. I don't even care. Because I know at the end of the day, when I'm sitting here going, I have absolutely nothing to play. I'll just look at Battlefield on my desktop like, you're always there for me, Battlefield. Thank you.
Why not?
Thank you. I won't get mad at you like I do CS. I won't fall asleep on you like I do in Val. And, you know, I won't get tired of grinding out quests like I do in New World. So, you know, it'll be there. It's just going to be when I'm bored.
Yeah.
So, Dash, how do you feel about the future of Warzone?
Okay. I mean, I think that Ricochet needs to work. If it doesn't work, we're screwed.
It's already
I
not
think
working.
that
Is Ricochet Colonel level, by the way, like how Val is, or no?
yeah, it's
No.
supposed to be. I think it's supposed
but
to be.
it's supposed to be, but it's
Uh-oh.
crappy. I've already heard rumors and stuff. Well, these actually might not be rumors, but I'm pretty sure that they already put Ricochet into effect in some, like, they're testing it and stuff. And
Like
I heard
how
that some
Val did, like easing it in kind of thing.
I heard
and
that it was like on purpose though. I think you're talking about like the
Maybe.
leaks, right? But I heard that it was on purpose, and like I'm believing this. I heard that it was on purpose and that they were trying to see how they penetrate it, and so that they can already kind of know and see what they're doing and be able to just detect it
That
that
makes
way
a lot of sense.
and
if
fight
they
it.
do.
It
The
makes
thing-
sense coming from because like I'm a programmer. I've been in cybersecurity, so like I kind of know how all of that works, and it makes sense. But at the same time, it could have really just screwed up. I don't know.
I mean, it's COD, so there's a good chance.
Yeah.
hopefully they just mess something up and maybe they can fix it. But what I have heard though is that what is it called? Riot what?
Right. Oh, Ricochet.
Yeah, Ricochet. So okay, so what I've heard about the Ricochet though is that there've already been leaks of hackers already breaking through Ricochet and
course.
still being able to get in. And I'm like, dang, it just came out and it's already getting, like, they're already getting through it, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
So hopefully maybe
See-
they can kind of fix it.
See,
and
what you're
working
getting,
correctly.
what you're misunderstanding is the anti-cheat isn't supposed to stop people from hacking. It's supposed to just detect the hacks.
Make it
and
detect it and make it
transfer
harder.
the data. Yeah, and so from what I know about most anti-cheats nowadays, it's a self-learning thing. So it'll be shit at first, and then it'll slowly build up its
Yeah.
own like defense system kind of thing. And like, oh, we acknowledge that this is a hack. Now we blacklist it. Oh, this is a new hack but a different version. Okay, we put a branch off over here. Like, and as long as everything runs as it should, which 99% of the time it doesn't, then it'll be okay eventually. But you know, hackers, they're always gonna hack.
Hackers are
Find
gonna
a
always
way.
hack. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the only thing anti-cheats do is just make it harder. There's always going to be a hacker. There's just going to be a little bit less.
Hopefully that's the case, because I hope it's not a year from now and the anti-cheat's been out for like a year or something, and we're still dealing with the insane amount of hackers. That's my issue.
Yeah.
I mean, look
I
at
hope
Val.
doesn't
You still
happen.
have people hacking in the semi-pro scene
Yeah.
that are still, they get exposed. And when Val first came out, when I tried playing it, like, it was like, hey, you have a Logitech G703. I'm like, yeah, why? It's like, yeah, you're hacking. I'm like, no, it's a mouse, I swear. And it wouldn't let me use my mouse for like a day. I'm like, oh, all right, I'll just uninstall this now.
That's actually tragic. I mean, I'm just hoping that the map is better too, because Pacific, I honestly hate Verdansk. I rarely touch it. I just play solos mostly, but I play Rebirth a lot more now. But Verdansk is just ass. Downtown needs to be destroyed fully. I don't know what they thought doing. They destroyed like 3 buildings, it looks like. I don't even know, but I just don't even touch it. I don't touch that half of the map. I don't touch barely like 80% of the map, truly. Pacific needs to be better. I really hope that that map it comes out and it's actually good, and that it makes the gameplay better. I don't really know what they can do to make it better, but I'm just hoping that it is truly. It needs to
Hopefully.
be.
Now with COD, like, the thing that always made me extra, like, just super pissed off with that game is random exploding things. Please tell me that's not a thing anymore. Please, there's not like random barrels or
There's
cars
barrels.
placed throughout the map.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean,
Why?
the not like the in Warzone, not many. On certain maps, like here and there are a lot of the cars only explode if they get shot up, and like it
Well,
tells
yeah,
you the
that
critical
makes
damage and all
sense.
that.
Yeah.
But like I don't think that there's too much randomness. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Like Lucent, Ezra, if you guys have like played often, I don't think there's any random explosions though.
Not really. More in like multiplayer. They'll put barrels a lot in multiplayer, but not in Warzone so
Yeah.
much. I haven't played it a lot recently. I have played it a little bit here and there, just because I have a few friends that really enjoy it. I'm not the biggest fan of it. Once Vanguard comes out, I might get back into it just because it's the same movement mechanics. Because Cold War and Warzone, they're totally different.
Totally different.
So maybe I'll get back into it then. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. But I'm pretty sure on Warzone they don't have a lot of barrels, because I know in multiplayer they do, because even pros would use some of the barrels as like a
Yeah.
tactic. which is really smart. So I don't think in Warzone it's not as big. There might be random vehicle explosions here and there, but I don't think there's a lot of barrels and junk.
I mean, when I wasn't so big into Warzone necessarily. I like to play more of how was it? What was the other game type that it wasn't? It's like Heist. It was the Heist. No, we collect $1 million. First one to hit $1 million.
Yeah,
Plunder,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Plunder.
Plunder.
I loved Plunder. Like I was top 500 in Plunder. I fucking
Okay.
loved that. I grinded that because it was actually enjoyable. Like I didn't have
Yeah.
to like, oh, I'm starting out with a pistol, the slow grind. Like no, you just start out
Yeah.
and you're good to go, and you just kill.
Yeah.
That's the kind of game, like almost like a wave type, I guess. But that's
Mhm.
the only type out. Like General Warzone was okay. Didn't keep my attention too long though.
I mean, that's like I've realized that plunder is very vital to the game. Not only for just
Slight
like
flex,
you
yeah.
said, just playing, but it literally helps like so much to A, warm up, and then B, like
Yeah.
leveling up weapons is
Oh,
quite literally
yeah.
impossible in anything but plunder. Like I've been trying. I realized recently how much the camos, although I hate the grind, I really do enjoy looking at them. And so I want to get more of the camos, and I've been doing it more recently in multiplayer, and it's just no, I need plunder back. They took it away because of the game mode playlist for Ghost of Verdun skin all in like Iron Trials and stuff. But I
Yeah.
really need plunder back soon because it's pretty important. And then Rebirth is a lot more fun for like the wave thing that you're talking about, because you're able to respawn, and you can continuously fight other people, and I found that to be way more enjoyable than Verdun.
There's nothing like sitting on
nothing
top
else.
of the mart just watching people like parachuting. Like I got that guy, I got that guy, I got that guy. Then a random guy just free falling RPGs you. So it's like, all right, whatever, spawn back in again. As long as my duo is still up, we're good to go. And you just keep
Exactly.
going at it and at it. And there was like no other reason to go anywhere else on the map. Like, yeah, sure, I could go 10 feet over to airport, but you know, screw that. I'll just stay right here. No reason not to, you know. And I mean,
I'm a
there's, like,
run and gun guy, bro. I think it's because I have ADHD. I'm not really sure. Kind of self-diagnosed.
Oh hell
but-
yeah, that's the same thing for me.
Like I just can't.
Same.
I can't not. If I sit there for too long. Today I was going for long shots to finish up the tundra, and my brain. I was just sitting in one spot, and I couldn't do it. Like it was just so hard. It was so hard for me. I ended up finishing it. I'm very glad.
So
But
proud of
staying
you.
in one spot is impossible for me. It really is. I just have to keep on moving back and forth. Yeah. No.
Oh man, I mean, but like, all right. So outside of FPS genres, what's everybody playing? Anything special, or you guys really just sticking to FPSs?
At the moment,
I
I'm
like
sticking
Minecraft.
to FPS.
Yeah, currently I'm FPS.
Yeah,
Same though.
I wanna.
You guys
but,
are bland.
well,
Hey, some Genshin.
well, I
want
want
to
to. I want to try and do
Get the
more.
fuck out of here with the Genshin, bro. That's like a halfway to FPS, but like the Weeb FPS almost.
Genshin.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Genshin's fun, but like we
Too
all
much
know
grind.
why you're playing
Nope.
it. So
I
like
wanna-
no New
Anime
World,
biddies.
no Diablo, even Rust. I'll even take Rust as not an FPS.
I played a little bit of Rust. It was okay. I want to maybe try and get back into it again. But New World, I have thought about trying it out. Haven't tried it out yet. I heard it's pretty good and it's a lot.
Have you
of,
ever played
it's
an
pretty fun.
MMORPG?
I have not really.
I'm gonna say you, unless you have the spare money, I wouldn't waste your time.
But besides like the FPS, like Call of Duty and Valorant and Apex and stuff, I want to try and do more content with like UGK and stuff. And I have like Uno and Among Us, things like that downloaded. So I want to try and maybe get some of that going for like the content side of the
And
team.
we can.
'Cause I feel like that'd be a
I'll
lot of fun.
gladly play Rust with you because I always try to find someone to play Rust with, dude. So we can,
Hey,
we can
man.
struggle together.
I'm doing content over at New Threat too, and I'm down if you want to just do some collabs.
Yeah.
We're already doing the collab
I'm always
with
down.
this. so-
I'm always down.
Group chat's
So
always
let's do
talking
it,
about collabs, but then everyone's like, "Oh, I'm busy right now. Give
I
me
know.
15 minutes."
I hate that. Yeah.
It does get
I
a
hate
little
it too.
annoying, yeah. When I'm there right there and I want to get it done, I'm like, come on, let's just get it done. So
Yeah,
it's
I got
fun.
the
Exactly.
motivation.
Over
Let's
with.
do this.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's
I'm
how
trying
I
to get the
am.
motivation to play League of Legends, but at the same time, I don't want to hate myself at the end of the night.
Do you play League at all?
I watch them, and it just feels like something I want to self-harm myself after watching.
Dude, I have played lots and lots of League. Like I started off wrong. I started off playing Dota. All right, and Dota's like big brain, top tier. Like you have to actually think. So the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, I don't understand. Like, why do I have to cut down these trees to make a path? Like that makes no sense. And I'm like, oh, you cut down trees to flank around teams to make your own path around. Like what, man? And you're like, who thought of this? And you're like, oh, it's a Korean strat. I'm like, man, they're just too damn good at this shit. and then I take a step down and I go, all right, let's play League. And I'm like, oh, skill shots. That's all I got to worry about. And farming creeps, easy, not a problem. I can left click. That's super simple, super easy, not a problem at all. My small CS brain can easily do this all day, not a problem. We're good.
I've
at that.
never touched them. They look fun, but just not for me.
Yeah, same here. I'm the exact same way.
I
So-
just can't find them interesting as much.
Then what's all right, of all like the pro orgs and all that stuff, what would you say is like the one, like your favorite / the one you would definitely, like if you had a shot, that's the one you would definitely want to be in for the rest of your life?
Me,
Just let that answer.
oh yeah, me, I'd probably say 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves just looks
Okay.
way too good.
Yeah,
Looks
same.
way too good.
Oh man, it's full of fanboys in here. Great.
Yeah.
Bro, they're just doing
Yeah,
apparel. They're
yeah.
doing every collab. They're just doing everything right.
it's
100
either
Thieves
between
fire.
it's either between 100 Thieves or Optic. I've grew up
Okay.
watching Optic a lot. Hex is probably one of my favorite like owners of all time. I listen to his podcast. I watch his channel. I watch all of the Optic gaming stuff. Like it would probably have. Actually, let me change it over to Optic. But if I couldn't get Optic, then 100 Thieves would be my second choice.
I mean, I can
Okay.
understand why you guys would pick them, because realistically, like that's the 100 Thieves, like you said, they are a business through and through. They're not an org anymore. They are 100% a business. They have expanded. But even though and that's the thing, Optic as well, because you have Hex actually going into like the medical marijuana industries as well. I know he's been trying to push into that and do his own thing. So they're doing the same thing, but in their own separate ways. So long term, they're a stable business model, which makes sense. You would obviously like, and I don't blame you. 100 Thieves, like their merch is nice. I like it myself.
Yeah, it is.
That's why I wish they would have stuck in CS more, so I could have a lot of their stickers. But that's besides the point. But all right. So then, outside of orgs, we'll toss that to the side. We'll say content creators / players. Then could be in any FPS or any competitive scene, or whatever, wherever you want to put it. Who's your favorite content creator? And who's your favorite player?
Let's see. Content creator, I have to think about it, but my favorite player, like org scene wise, would probably be Formal. He's just comedy. He's like one of the greatest players. He's a well-rounded player. Yeah, horny for me, and he's just so funny. He kills me every time I watch him. He's just great. He's amazing. He's probably one of my favorite players. I'm trying to think content wise. If Ezra wants to go next, while I think of content, because I'm trying to think. I have a lot of people.
What game are we talking about? COD still or?
Does whatever.
Any?
It doesn't
Just in
matter.
general.
Yeah.
I'd say Kenny S from G2.
Ooh.
Oh,
As a player, just because he's fun to watch, destroy everyone, no matter what game he plays, Valorant or CS.
See, and at that point, I'd have to say Shroud.
That's true too.
mm.
Which is
Yeah.
gonna lead me to my content creator, which is Shroud,
Yeah.
because he does like pretty much everything, and no matter what, he's good.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys that he picks up a mouse, and as long as he can shoot
Yeah.
something, because he even did good in PUBG for a little while, I'm pretty sure as well. He's just one of those guys that just has the capacity to pick up something and just be god tier at it, and like at least top 10 players all the time, no matter what. And I think he's older than me even, so
Love that.
maybe I have something to look up to in life eventually. Maybe I will get better with my older age. Who knows? Probably not. I'm washed. Far from washed. I was never good.
I think I figured it out now though, but my content would probably have to be David Dobrik. At the end of the day, he's just so funny. His videos
Dave.
are the most funny things in the world. He's comedy.
Yeah.
Every time I watch his videos, I'm always guaranteed at least a laugh, no matter what. Every time I watch him, he would have to be my favorite, probably most of all.
Honestly,
fire.
if I go content creator, just because like I like him as a creator himself. Do you guys watch any like Rust YouTubers at all?
I used to. I still.
No.
I think I subscribed to
Not on
him, but
purpose.
I don't remember his name.
His name's Stimpy.
Is he the one that makes the movies?
No.
For
but no, there are a lot of people. There's like name's Blue. There's a lot of people like because you can
There's
always
this-
tell the Rust YouTubers because their thumbnails are just immaculate looking, like
Um,
works of art.
I'm trying to remember his name. He's one I used to watch when I was like getting really into Rust. He used to just pretty much post raids. That's all he would do. And he would do a lot of solo raids just by himself all the time. I don't remember his name though. He would do a lot of solo raids and then supposedly he got leaked for faking a lot of it. I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember his name though, but
There's Wally 1K is one of them.
he's pretty well known, I feel like. I just don't remember his
Blueprint
name.
is another.
Yeah. Nah, I don't think it's any of them. Maybe he might come to my memory at some point. But it was just one guy. I would watch him the most probably, and occasionally maybe other Rust channels here and there.
Okay. What is this next? What is it like having the best fan club ever? Is this supposed to be directed towards me? I'm assuming. Is that the question for me? I'm going down the list here, and that's what I see. So, Jay, would you like to inform me who this question was? It says everyone, but does everybody have a fan club? Or is
Nope.
is it just me?
I'm not big
I
yet to
don't-
have no sort of fan club, so
Okay,
Same.
so this
Sag.
best fan club ever, UGK fan club. Okay. So I mean, obviously we have the leader of my
We have
so-called fan
UGK's
club.
the UGK fan club behind us always. We love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And honestly, like I came from a bunch of cause like when I played COD a lot, I did like a lot of recruiting / HR work for an older team called Fearless Under Fire or FUF, and like we were all like really close knit friends, and like it felt like a family. Like we all kind of just hung out, like just kind of talk to each other regardless, not IRL, but obviously, and we just screw around. And after that team like dissolved and stuff, I was always kind of like jumping around a lot, trying to find like that family vibe again, which I don't know if anybody knows that feeling or not,
Mhm.
but like
100%.
and then I feel like I started casting for UGK. Like I started you guys were just one of the assigned people for me to cast for on CS, and like the chat was like really interactive. So I was like, hey, maybe this is it. And like UGK does give me that family vibe. Like everybody's kind of like close. Like I like all right. Prime example, Dash, you hit me up. We talked for like a good bit over Twitter. Like Ez and Lucent, never met you guys really up until today. And just started to talk to you, and like it feels natural. Like it feels like
Natural.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like that forced, kind of like put on a front kind of bullshit just so because we're all kind of
Facts,
here. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
it feels comfortable to be around you guys. So like it's nice. UGK feels nice, and I'm sure you get that same feeling over there too, Dash, with New Threat as well.
New Threat, yeah, 100%. I joined over there with them over in May, and ever since then, it's honestly nonstop. Felt like a family with them, just working hard together on the same grind, trying to do the same thing. And it feels like it feels nice to have those people behind you. And so I'm glad that we have New Threat behind us. I'm glad we have UGK behind us, and obviously the people in chat. I'm glad we have you guys behind us too. So
Yeah,
it's fun. It
Sure.
was fun.
I'm definitely glad that I feel being part of this like new family of UGK and I guess New Threat. I don't know much about New Threat. Hopefully I can kind of learn more about them soon. But I know that's kind of like a partnership type of deal. That they
Yeah,
both
affiliate, yeah.
teams, they both help each other a lot. So
Mhm.
I'm glad that I can come into this scene and just feel welcomed and
Welcome.
just feel comfortable with everyone else as well. I'm glad I can feel comfortable. Like I've been getting along with Ezra really well too, and like we're just comedy and it just feels good. It
you
definitely
actually
feels
get along
good.
with Liquid and all them.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Liquid's aight. Liquid's
he's
alright.
alright. He's kind of trash at games, but he's alright.
Yeah. ADS is way too much.
And then I
Funny
figured out
guy.
what the Rust person though. It was a Rust Academy though. That's the person that I would watch
That's
a lot.
right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the person I would watch. That he would do a lot of his solo raids, things like that.
All right. So then, off the back of that, you guys are mouse and keyboard or controller preference here?
Keyboard. I mean,
Ezra mouse and keyboard.
Yep. Used to be a controller player. I don't know. It's after just being on it for like a few months, it just feels better. Definitely better switch. Switch to it if you're in chat. Just saying.
Yeah. It's just this. You can feel the superiority coming through the mouse and keyboard. Like as soon as you touch it, it feels wonky. But then give it 2 weeks and you'll be 100 times better than you ever were a controller. because like when you see people like, especially like games that where you can have a mix of keyboard and controller and mouse and keyboard when you queue into games, you can always tell that one fucking guy that has a controller, like all his movements so circular and just obvious, and you're like, you can tell mouse and keyboard people because they just doing too damn much half the time.
Swipe, swipe, swipe,
Yeah,
swipe.
bro.
No,
like,
yeah,
never
I
seen a
agree.
mouse and keyboard flick shots sometimes that were compared to controller flick shots. They just different.
I would
What
have
about
to
you, Lucent?
pick. I would have to pick keyboard, but I like both. I enjoy both. I think I like controller more for movement, and then keyboard more for the aiming, mouse and keyboard. And just that you can do way more. I feel like on keyboard and stuff. Like when you compare like Rainbow Six to console and on PC, you're able to lean to the left or right without having to aim in. On console, you have to aim in to lean left or right. So like keyboard, I definitely enjoy more because you can have more mechanics. You can do a lot more on keyboard. But
Yeah,
I grew up
sure.
on controllers, so I still love the controller too.
Trust me, I did too. Except my controller was originally very square because it was from the NES system. So we're talking about a totally different type of controller. But I mean, like it's definitely a niche. There's games that are made for controllers. Like prime example, Rocket League. I can't imagine not playing Rocket League without a controller. It's just
You're delusional if you don't.
Yeah, yeah, honestly, stated denial. Because like I can't, like, because cars drive in circles, so it kind of, with a controller, everything it feels natural.
It feels natural. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you talk with any FPS, like, I don't know, movement with a controller just feels sloppy to me. But like we're talking movement on a keyboard, like I can get what I need to down very easily with that.
I'm with Lucent on this. Like I've been I started off on console, so played console my entire life, and then played mouse and keyboard for the first time in Modern Warfare 2019. Like literally first time ever picking it up, because the game, you like the movement, you had to like bunny hop and do all of that, and I couldn't do that on a controller because I don't play claw. And so I just originally
claw gives you hand cramps, man.
Yeah, I didn't pick up claw, and so I didn't have a scuff or anything like that, so I picked up mouse and keyboard, and I played like competitively, just like with this CRL COD Rec League with a few homies, and we ended up like doing well in that. But it was my first time ever trying to get used to a keyboard movement and stuff like that, and how to aim and all of that. And I will say that now that I am used to keyboard and mouse, because I had to go back to it recently, but I'm back on controller as well, so like I kept on having to switch back and forth. So now that I'm more used to keyboard and mouse, I will say that it's very like you do feel more free, but I do agree that movement for controller and like aim and stuff like that for keyboard and mouse, like it just feels way better.
Hey, once you do claw for a little while, you won't get the cramps anymore, because like I said, I've been trick shotting since like Modern Warfare 2, so I had to learn claw really well.
Listen, man, my boomer hands have arthritis. Not even joking, actually. So claw would only be pain for me.
Hey, when I first started doing it, it would definitely my finger would start to hurt after a while. My hand would cramp up, but once you do it for a while, like your hand starts to get used to it, and
I do it
that's
on
why.
accident.
Yeah, sometimes I do it on accident too, but that's why I got so good competitively in like Modern Warfare, and like I even wanted to compete in Modern Warfare because I just felt like my movement and my playstyle was really well.
I mean, it definitely, like I said, once I switched over to controller now, it felt way better, because I know I can actually do the movement and stuff like that with bunny hopping and stuff. But yeah, I guess we'll move on to our next question. Would you guys ever cast? I know Lucent, you do one of you do a podcast, right? Yourselves?
Yeah, that's me.
Lucent, yeah. And so I guess the next question: would you guys ever cast?
I wouldn't mind trying it.
Yeah, I'd definitely try it.
You try it, yeah.
Definitely for Valorant, just because.
Valorant?
Yeah.
And Alan, would you do Valorant as well?
That's a hard question, because like I do get pretty swamped usually daily with CS work. Val doesn't pay as well, I will say that much. And because I generally don't enjoy the game, I feel like I wouldn't bring that same like kind of passion. And with casting, dude, you have to have an actual like for because it comes across as obvious. If you don't like something, everything sounds dry and forced. But like with CS when stuff happens, I generally feel excited. If I'm like, man, this guy hit a really sick ult move, because ults are in this game and they kill people, which they weren't originally supposed to.
Yeah, I know.
But yo, it's crazy, and like I wouldn't have it in me. Like, but if somebody said, yo, here's a grand cast, I'm like, word, I'm sure I'll fake it all day. I don't care. You pay me well enough, I'll do what you gotta do. Doesn't matter.
I would have to pick Call of Duty just because I know it too well. I know Call of Duty way too well.
Same.
I would give Val a try, but I'm not that good at Val, and I don't understand it as good as other people. I grew up on Call of Duty, so it would be like the back of my hand type of deal. That's just how well I know Call of Duty.
Is
Fire.
like, I mean, I don't know. Like, do you guys know the scene, the casting scene well enough? Because like in CS, there is like a lower end, like, you know, obviously where I'm at, where like there's a collective group of people who aren't professional, but there is a standard between us. Does any other FPS have stuff like that where you can just kind of like slowly ease your way into casting? Does anybody know?
Yes and no. It just depends. You gotta find it. Like, I had my own team for a little while. I still kind of do, but that's not to bring up. But I entered into Call of Duty with this team, and it was a small league, K7 League. I don't know if any of you guys ever heard about it. Where they do Call of Duty tournaments, and their grand prize was like $1,500 or $1,000, and they had professional casting. They had set matches, everything, and there was like a staff of like maybe 8 different casters, and they would do 2 casters every single match, which was really cool. So, and then they ended up doing so well at casting that they ended up a few of them got invited to do casting for the CCL, which is the College COD League. And then they also did a little bit of casting for the AFD, which is a Florida LAN business, like Call of Duty business that does land and stuff. And they ended up casting that in person as well.
What was the league called?
K7 League. Yeah.
Okay.
They did. They do Call of Duty, and I think they have a small Madden kind of scene, but the casters there, they got really well known, and they grew really well, and they were actually, some of them were really good casters. There was a few that I didn't like, just like everyone else out there. You like and don't like some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they had some really good casters, and they ended up doing really well. That they went to a LAN tournament, casted that, and they also cast for the CCL, which gets like 100+ viewers, because you got professionals that are in there sometimes too.
Yeah. I mean, like, there is a few like lower levels tournaments we work with too in the CS scene, and like they have a few. I think they even have a Collins. I think they're like AWL or something. I forget what they're called, but I know they have a $10,000 tournament coming up, or it happened already. I forget what it was, but I know we work with a little bit of them too as well every once in a while. But the CS LAN scene isn't there right now still because of COVID, which I feel like a lot of LANs are struggling at this point for that very reason. Because just restricted, especially like in America, it's not so bad, but like Europe, it's strict. They're very, very still strict with it. So America's got a little more free reign with it than most, I'd say.
Probably, yeah.
But I mean, got any more questions you guys want? Anything else? Chat? Any questions even? Think we're done here at this point. Yeah.
I'm just excited that I got to do this with everyone. It was a lot of fun getting to do this with all of you guys. Hopefully, maybe I can be another guest one day. That'd be great. That'd be fun.
Yeah. First episode in the bag.
Yeah.
question
But
for
I'm
chat.
glad. I'm grateful that UGK picked me to be on the first episode. Me even being new, which is awesome. So thank you guys for that. It means a lot.
Of course.
Yeah, same thing. It's such a vibe here. Definitely dashing all ins. Definitely perfect host.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate that.
Well, thank you for stopping by, and I appreciate everybody for the questions, everything. It was fun. We're here for almost an hour and a half, pretty much just bullshitting the whole time. And
W.
Dash as well, man. Always a good host with me as well. And thank you too, Lucent.
Appreciate you,
and
man.
dude, thanks for stopping by, making this fun. Like I didn't think I was gonna get into COD so much, like talking about it wise, but like, it brings up a soft spot in my heart from way back when.
W.
Thanks.
So, you
I
know,
love
make
that.
sure to support all the boys too as well. You got Lucent, you got Ez. You guys want to plug whatever, you know, Twitters or whatever else you guys got. Now's the time.
Yeah, I'll plug it. My Twitter is at ITZLucent. And I have my own podcast if anyone wants to check that out, which I talk about mainly Call of Duty and just a little bit stuff about esports in general. At Collat Pod, the Collateral Podcast. Me and a good friend of mine. So I think, and then my Twitch, just Twitch, it's Lucent, same thing. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for having me.
For me, I'm just gonna plug my Twitter, which is Ezra_Vel.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
Dash, take it away.
I mean, I'll go on ahead and just plug myself real quick as well. Dash DVSHTTV, or at Dash GOW on Twitch or on Twitter. Sorry about that. But yeah, I appreciate all of you guys for stopping by. Allen, if you want to go on ahead and say your own stuff real quick, shout yourself out.
Well, I mean, everybody generally here knows my general outro at this point. You know, you guys can follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. It's always All In Gaming 23. And thank you, everybody, for stopping by. And this will be
Thank you.
the first episode closed out here. And we will be coming back with a second one. Not sure what it is just yet, but I think it's CS related. Should be, anyways. So thank you, everyone, for stopping by. And everybody have an amazing night.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Alright, have a good night, Boomer.